The evening rain poured down in sheets as Marcus Blake finished his shift at Romano's Italian restaurant, his feet aching from 8 hours of carrying plates and navigating demanding customers. At 34, he worked 2 jobs to support his 7-year-old daughter Lily, waiter by day, warehouse worker by night, with barely enough sleep in between. He was walking to the bus stop, his threadbare jacket already soaked, when he saw her. A young woman sat on the curb in the pouring rain, her expensive-looking clothes drenched, mascara running down her face as she sobbed into her hands. She looked to be in her mid-20s, and even through the rain, Marcus could see she was shaking, whether from cold or emotion, he could not tell. Marcus's first instinct was to keep walking. He was exhausted, needed to get home to relieve his neighbor who was watching Lily, and could not afford to miss the last bus. But something about her complete despair made him stop. "Hey," he called out, approaching carefully. "Are you okay?" The woman looked up, her eyes red and puffy. "Please just leave me alone. You are sitting in the rain," Marcus said gently. "At least let me give you my umbrella." "I do not want your umbrella," she said, her voice breaking. "I do not want anyone's help. I just want everyone to leave me alone." Marcus crouched down to her level, rain soaking through his clothes. "I get that, but sitting in the rain is not going to solve whatever is wrong. Trust me, I have tried." Something about his tone, understanding without pity, made her look at him properly. "You have sat in the rain? 2 years ago, after my wife died, I sat in my car in a parking lot during a thunderstorm and cried until I could not breathe. It did not fix anything, but sometimes you just need to fall apart before you can put yourself back together." Marcus held out his umbrella. "But falling apart does not mean you need to get pneumonia. Take the umbrella, please." The woman took it, her hands shaking. "Thank you. Do you have somewhere to go? Someone I can call?" "No," she said quietly. "Everyone I thought I could trust just proved me wrong. I am alone." Marcus checked his watch. He would miss his bus, which meant paying for a rideshare he could not afford, which meant choosing between groceries and electricity this week. But he looked at this broken stranger and could not walk away. "Come on," he said, offering his hand. "There is a diner 2 blocks away. Let me buy you coffee and you can dry off. You do not have to tell me anything. You just should not be alone on a street corner in a storm." The woman who introduced herself as Claire followed him to the diner. Over coffee, the story came out in pieces. She was an heiress to a hotel empire, engaged to a man she had loved since college. Tonight, she had discovered he was only marrying her for her money and had been cheating on her for months. When she confronted him, he had laughed and told her she was naive to think anyone would love her for anything other than her wealth. "I called off the engagement and walked out," Claire said. "Left my phone, my purse, everything. I just started walking in the rain because I did not know what else to do." Marcus listened without judgment, occasionally refilling her coffee. When she finished, he said simply, "He is an idiot." "What? Anyone who would use you like that is an idiot. And you are brave for walking away. A lot of people would have stayed." "I do not feel brave. I feel stupid." "How did I not see it?" "Because you loved him and trusted him. That is not stupid. That is human." Marcus glanced at his watch again. He was going to be so late. "Do you have anywhere safe to go tonight? My family's hotel is downtown. I can get a room there." "Let me make sure you get there safely," Marcus offered. They took a cab to the hotel. Marcus paid with money he should have saved, and he watched Claire enter safely before heading home. 3 hours late, and dreading the rideshare fare. Days later, Marcus was making breakfast when Lily ran into the kitchen, pointing at the television. "Daddy, Daddy, that is the lady." Marcus looked at the screen and froze. There was Claire, looking polished and professional, being interviewed on the morning news. The caption read, "Claire Ashford, CEO Ashford International Hotels, announces new homeless shelter initiative." "That is her," Lily insisted. "That is the lady from your picture." Marcus realized Lily was pointing at a photo on his phone. He had taken a quick selfie with Claire outside the hotel to prove to his neighbor why he had been so late, not wanting her to think he had been irresponsible. "You know her?" Lily asked, her eyes wide. "I helped her one night when she was sad," Marcus said quietly, watching Claire on screen discuss her new philanthropic initiative with passion and purpose. 2 days later, Marcus's manager called him into the office at Romano's. "Mr. Blake, you have a visitor. She requested you specifically." Marcus walked out to find Claire sitting at a corner table, looking nothing like the broken woman from the rainstorm. She was composed, elegant, and smiled when she saw him. "Claire," Marcus said, confused. "What are you doing here?" "I have been looking for you for 3 days," she said. "You never told me your last name." "I hired a private investigator to find the waiter from Romano's who worked the evening shift on the night we met." "Why?" Claire pulled out an envelope. "Because you helped a stranger when you had every reason not to. Because you spent money you clearly could not afford to make sure I was safe. Because you listened without judgment and treated me like a person instead of a public spectacle." She handed him the envelope. Inside was a check for $50,000. Marcus stared at it, his hands shaking. "I cannot take this. I helped because you needed help, not for money, I know. That is exactly why I'm giving it to you." "Marcus, do you know what my net worth is? The interest alone on my investments could pay this every single day. But you do not want my money, which is why I want to give it to you. I did not help you expecting anything," Marcus protested. "I know. But when I met you, I was broken because everyone in my life only valued me for my wealth. You valued me as a human. You were 3 hours late getting home to your daughter because you made sure a stranger was safe. Let me help you the way you helped." Marcus felt tears sting his eyes. "I have student loan debt, medical bills from my wife's cancer, rent I am behind on." "Then let me help," Claire said gently. "Not because you asked, but because you taught me that kindness still exists. Take the money, pay your debts, maybe work 1 job instead of 2, so you can spend more time with Lily. Consider it payment for saving my life." "I did not save your life, you did. I was sitting in that rain contemplating whether anything mattered anymore. You showed me it did. That is worth far more than $50,000. Over the following months, Marcus used Claire's gift to transform his life. He paid off debts, quit his warehouse job, and spent evenings with Lily instead of loading trucks. But Claire did more than give money. She became part of their lives. She had dinner with Marcus and Lily regularly. She attended Lily's school performances. She helped Marcus apply for a management position at a restaurant owned by her hotel company, a position he earned on his own merit, though Claire's recommendation opened the door. "You changed everything," Marcus told Claire one evening over dinner at Romano's, where they had first met. "That check changed our lives." "You changed mine first," Claire said. "After that night, I realized I had been surrounding myself with people who valued me for what I had, not who I was. I launched the shelter initiative because you showed me what real generosity looks like, helping without expectation of reward." A year after that rainy night, Marcus and Claire stood in the same diner where they had first talked. Lily was with them, bouncing with excitement. "This is where you bought Mama coffee when she was sad." Lily announced she had started calling Claire Mama 6 months ago, a development that made both adults cry. Marcus knelt down and pulled out a small box. "Claire, the night we met, I was exhausted, broke, and struggling to keep my head above water. You were wealthy, successful, and sitting in the rain crying. We should have had nothing in common. Instead, we found everything that mattered. Will you marry me? Will you let me spend my life showing you the same kindness you showed us?" Through her tears, Claire nodded. "Yes, but only if you promise to always remember that night. Promise me we will never forget that love is not about what we have, but about who we are willing to be for each other." "I promise," Marcus said. "How could I forget? I missed my bus, spent my last dollars on a cab, and found everything I never knew I was looking for." If this story reminded you that helping strangers can change lives, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment about when an unexpected kindness transformed your path.